Welcome to the Nerd Party. Welcome to Time and Space, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Jessica Nunn.
And I'm her husband and co-host, Philip Gilfus. Well, in a continuation of last week, where we talked to some new Who companions, thought we would fill the gaps of who we missed in sort of the new Who era, not getting to the 13th Doctor's era. So we're going to be talking about Martha, Amy, and Bill.
Yay!
And for our Inside the TARDIS library, we're going to be talking about the TV movie Hotel, starring some notable Doctor Who alum. So let's get into it. So, let's go into Martha Jones and her time with the 10th Doctor.
Okay. I like Martha.
Right. I hear a but.
Not a but. I think on this list, she tends to fall towards the bottom of my companions list. Mm-hmm. And I feel bad about that because I do really like her.
And you should.
It's just that everybody's great. Almost. And so, yeah.
No one know who your almost is.
Clara.
Oh, okay.
Because she's great and then she's not. So, yeah, I feel like I don't give Martha Jones the kudos she deserves simply because she's in an amazing lineup.
Yeah, I mean, Martha tends to be in my top companion list. And, I mean, it doesn't hurt that she's in really good episodes. I know friend of the show, Shar, is currently watching this series of Doctor Who, and I was telling her she was about to hit the sort of really good run of episodes, because after, I think, 42, which is sort of the back third of the series, which 42 is good, it's okay, that's the Chris Chibnall, Martha and her friend in the spaceship and all that stuff. Yeah. But then after that, you get Family of the two-parter, Mr. Smith, where he's the teacher at the private school.
Oh, yeah, that is a really good one.
Pretty soon, you're off, then you get Blink, and then you're getting ready for the three-part Master, timeline. So, it's good stuff.
And Shakespeare, she's in the Shakespeare one.
That's true, yeah. And so, I think she does. And then she's in, I always forget, Gridlock, the traffic one with the cat.
Oh, right, with the cats,
yes.
Yeah. I think maybe for me, she just wasn't there long enough.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I think, because, you had Rose doing 2 series, then Martha seemed like the first in and out, even though Donna was also, but at least you got the taste of her before, and then after that, it felt like you had the second chance Donna.
Yes, yeah, and I think, again, when comparing Martha to Donna's ends so sadly that sticks in my head, and she's got Bernard Cribbins, yes, thank you. So, yeah, I think she needed more time, and she needed a better ending. Maybe that's where I'm feeling it.
And I'm also a bit curious, whenever we bring in Richard to do all the companion goodbyes, because, of course, Martha leaves at the end of the series, but she doesn't go away. And I'm not complaining, but, she comes back a little bit, in the 10th Doctor series. Of course, that was Journey's, and everyone came back for that one. But then she came back she didn't come back, but she went to Torchwood for at least 2 episodes, if my memory serves. And I think I remember reading something, and of course I may be wrong, but that she was there was a possibility she might join Torchwood series. I don't know if that was, what happened with that.
Yeah. And I don't know where she would have fit in that.
Well, they kept killing people off. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think they may have had to keep it from getting too big as far as, your main characters. But I think it would have been a really good fit for her. Being both doctor and warrior would have been really interesting to see more of.
Mm-hmm. And just, I guess, because I think we can talk about maybe her evolution in that sense, but because I think in her first series, in her her solid series, I don't know that we necessarily get much, if any, character development.
Yeah.
I mean, young medical student. I mean, she's awesome. I think she's awesome. But I don't know necessarily that we go on a particular journey with her.
Yeah. And I think that there was loads of room for that. Mm-hmm. But we don't really, until she's on her way off, even see the warrior build.
That's right. Wandering the earth.
Yeah. It's like Martha, she trained to be a doctor, but now she's just wandering around with Doctor Who. Oh, now she's a warrior.
Yeah.
And now she's gone. Yeah, there's no use of her backstory so much. I mean, they obviously use her family in places, but even that, like, her family doesn't hold much memory for me in the same way that, say, Yaz's family does.
Right. I think we had, and I can't remember names. You have her mother and her father who were divorced because you had the thing with. I think I don't know. I'd have to watch it. Char was telling me she was watching. I don't know if the episode's actually called Lazarus or Project Lazarus, which I don't know. I remember not being a bad one, but necessarily being a great one. That's with our friend Mark Gaddis' appearance and turns into a
old man,
scorpion and
weird,
bug or something weird. But anyway, you had her sister. You had her sister. I want to say Tish. I don't know why I know that. And that was pretty much out it. And I think the only thing you had with the mother, of course, you had sort of I was going to say stereotypical. She's only the second companion of the New Who era. The mother not liking the Doctor, well, not knowing who he was, of course, either. But she was ended up working with the Saxon administration, whatever you call it. And so and
it just and I think it also doesn't help that she's, particularly with that storyline, doesn't help that she's following up Jackie.
Yeah, yes.
Who was such a rounded character and such a clear, dynamic entity that, Martha's mom doesn't ever find that or is never given that.
Not to psychoanalyze Russell. He doesn't have any. What's his problem with dad characters?
Yeah.
Rose doesn't have a dad. Martha does.
Well, she eventually does, but
you're right. That's a good correction. So maybe I'm wrong, because in Martha's dad, he's there, but the mom is clearly the one we're going to concentrate on.
Yeah, Donna doesn't have a dad.
Donna doesn't have. Well, she does. I mean, but he gets, off screen killed off. Yeah,
these things happen,
and so I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah,
we usually concentrate on the mothers for these companions, which is fine. I'm not.
We only see Amy's parents once because originally they're dead.
Well, they're timey-wimey.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're anti-timey-wimey.
Bill? We don't see Bill's dad, but we do see her mom.
Yep. Well, and that was, of course, at that point, that was Moffat. But
Yeah, interesting.
Now, I'll tell you, this is now we're getting into, whatever. Rory's dad probably got the best spotlight of any dads. Now, I mean, you could argue Rose's dad, because he did get his own episode. Twice, really. But anyway.
And Donna's father figure, of course.
That's true. Yeah.
Gets the most play, but he's granddad, and that's different.
So, but anyway. What did you think about Martha's departure, again, without knowing what the real story was? But as far as the character departure, I'm trying to remember, I wandered the Earth in the timeline that may or may not really have happened. And
told everybody everything.
And I think I'm going to go have some me time now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I liked the idea of it.
It's I'm probably taking this too far, an self-actualization choice, knowing when it's time to say goodbye, or just knowing when it's time to define yourself, And
I'm not even mad about that. And who should have gotten that ending is Clara.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I can see that.
Clara should have... I'm going to be a teacher now. I'm going to continue to help in your world because I'm working at whatever the school is.
Right. It'll come to Coal Hill School.
Coal Hill.
Yeah.
But I've got a job as a teacher. I'm still fringe in your world. I have a boyfriend.
She could have been in class.
I'm walking away. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then she could have shown back up in class or whenever that was. I don't know, timey-wimey. Mm-hmm. that needed to be her departure. Martha needed to go off fighting if that's the direction they were going to send her on, and they clearly do, because every time she shows back up, she's a warrior.
Yep.
So that should have been the choice.
'Cause I think she was working for UNIT, I believe. Don't quote me, but I believe she's working for UNIT when we first catch up with her again. A doctor with UNIT. And then after that, she went mercenary. That's not what they said, but anyway,
Warrior.
Yeah, she went,
whatever it was. Yeah.
Independent or whatever colloquialism they use with her and Mickey. So yeah,
or Ricky.
Yes,
that one's definitely no. It's Mickey. Anyway,
yeah.
Or it needed to be a clear episode where she sees how much good she can do as a doctor, and decides she's going to pursue that. And there's just no link to anything. It just, here it is, thunk, surprise, this is what Martha's doing, bye. Just doesn't work for me.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on. Well, I guess, and then what did you think about her ultimate ending? Well, I say ultimate ending, she didn't die or anything, but anyway, the return and showing her and Mickey and
it's all very aliens. Dystopian.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm glad for her, and I feel like that's a real career choice.
Now, where's that spinoff?
Yeah, there's that, but it is a little dystopian. But never mind.
Yeah. What if they that the couple there? I don't know the Joneses. I don't know what you would call them. But anyway, what if they joined Torchwood? I think that would be good. That
would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, because since they killed everyone off, so it would be it's Jack Gwynn, Gwen's husband, whose name is escaping me for the moment, even though I've met him in real life, and then the two of them.
Please don't pick up that card you just dropped.
Kai Owen, I know is his real name, but anyway.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. Or a separate Torchwood spinoff. Like CSI.
Torchwood.
Torchwood Wales.
Yes. There you go.
Torchwood London.
Well, yeah. Now, theoretically, they never did go, because this is off the top of my head, so I'm probably wrong. Torchwood 1 was London. It was Canary Wharf. Torchwood 2 was, I can't remember. Something. Was it Scotland? I can't remember. Torchwood 3, if I remember correctly, is Cardiff, I think. People are yelling at me. And then Torchwood 4 was like the one that's like some guy and one, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, they could have explored anyway. Anyway, moving on. Amelia Pond. What do you think of the 11th Doctor's first companion?
I think one of my favorites. And again, part of that is you get to know her. She becomes part of your own family almost. She and Rory. And I like them together. I'm less crazy about her separately.
I was about to say, when you say together, you meant with Rory.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I like her opening story because it's just so bloody charming. And I think that one of the benefits she has is that she comes in with the Doctor. And so the three of them, Amy, Rory, and the 11th Doctor, in my mind, are almost inextricably linked.
Yeah, and I think Amy is young and fun. Because, in a way that Rose was supposed to be young, not that Rose is not young, because she's supposed to be even younger than we think, like something
19
ridiculous.
Or something, yeah.
And I was like, no, she's clearly in her early 20s. But anyway, but Amy is, I assume, early 20s, and then she plays that well about, just fun, out to have fun with the Doctor, flirty, but, it's the range of emotions that a companion should have. Because she's not as, in the beginning, she doesn't necessarily have a skill set. She's not like a Martha, that has, the medical skill set.
Well, I would hope not, because they didn't use Martha's skill set, so why bother giving Amy one?
So, she can be scared. She doesn't have, she's no Perry, obviously, but you know what I'm saying. She can be the screamy girl sometimes, but, healthy doses, I think.
Yeah.
But she does develop. Now, of course, she's there longer than Martha is, and as you say, they pair up with Rory pretty quickly. Fourth episode is off the top of my head. Doctor's like, let's go get Rory. And then that's pretty much they're together, I believe, so from then on. When he's not dying, of course.
Or waiting for 1,000 years.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because, obviously she's in my favorite episode, Vincent, Doctor and Vincent. And that's, of course, just Rory had to be gone so she could have her semi-flirty relationship with Van Gogh. But I think she develops, nothing like leaps and bounds necessarily, but she matures at the very least. Even if she doesn't, maybe if she doesn't develop, she matures.
Yes.
Because I think, and not just making her a mom, but like I'm thinking of the episode, The Girl Who Waited, I believe is the name, where they leave her and then they don't or whatever, and she's basically, it's the older version of Amy. And anyway, I think that was an interesting episode. I'm not saying it's the best episode, but I'm saying it's an interesting episode to explore that character.
Yeah.
And what she can do. And I think it's a very interesting exploring a relationship, Amy and Rory. Because, it's not a rom-dramedy. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Well, and I was just thinking...
it's an interesting exploration of...
And I think that's one of the things that I like, because I don't know, potentially with the exception of Graham and
not Graham.
Ryan.
Right.
Sorry, it took me a minute. Graham and Ryan. We don't, even when the TARDIS has multiple people in it, it's always 3 people and the Doctor. Whereas with Amy and Rory, it's Amy and the Doctor, Rory and the Doctor, Amy and Rory. And all of those relationships are explored in a way that I don't think we see with any other companions other than Ryan and Graham.
And I wonder if that's just the chemistry between the 3 people. Karen, Arthur, and Matt.
Possibly.
That they all work well together, separate, and
but
any
they
pairing.
but they still have to have those pairings,
right?
And you don't see them, when whichever Doctor it is has Adric and the Australian woman and the other one. There are 3 people in there, but you don't explore.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Any of those storylines of the relationships between those people, and there's ample opportunity because Adric's a kid. Mm-hmm. And so these 2 women can have all sorts of potential, taking care of him and worrying about him. There's so much opportunity there that's not explored. Mm-hmm. And as I say, the only time we see it again is Graham and Ryan.
What do you think of where they took Amy's character? Again, with the, getting married and then having a child and being kidnapped and all that stuff.
Yeah. Some of that gets a little bit mucky. Mm-hmm. Again, I've always said I like the silence idea. Mm-hmm. It's too dribby-drabby for a while. Mm-hmm. For me, I don't like it being hinted at all the way through. And then so things like the River Song storyline, I think the culmination of it is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Love that episode where they're all together. Where they're all together and they find out who River Song is.
Good Man Goes to War.
Yes. Love that episode. The dribs and drabs of her seeing people out of the corner of her eye and is she pregnant or is she not? That I wasn't as crazy about.
Yeah, the weird orphanage and all that. Yeah. Because obviously I like River, and then making her, making her Amy and Rory's daughter was fine. But I think it just always suffers from that thing of, hey, let's make the characters have a kid. Oh, shoot, now we're stuck with a kid. What do we do now? And it's like, I guess we got to have a babysitter every episode.
But I really liked the turnaround for it. I just think maybe rather than it being a big drawn-out thing, it could have been done differently.
It's like, oh, well, our kid disappeared. Oh, well.
Yeah.
We're not going to follow up on that?
Yeah.
Well, we said we did, but we tried.
And we totally could have, because there's that fantastic moment where, in one of the episodes where River comes to visit Amy, and they're out in the garden drinking wine, and that's there's clearly a chemistry there as well that could have been explored more. And maybe that's Alex's fault; she wasn't available enough or something. But Yeah, I think that if you're gonna do it, don't be like, oh yeah, we had a kid, never mind.
Yeah, we tried.
Now she's older than we are and
cares?
married to the
It's
doctor. Whatevs. Yeah, they sort of go, baby, River Song, Melody Pond, wink. The end.
And then what'd you think of their departure?
I
Because it was a they
it's
departure,
one of my
yeah.
favorite. Mm-hmm. And it's so definitive, which I'm not always a fan of, because I always want them to reappear. And, I guess they still have that option some way, somehow. But Angels Take Manhattan, I think, is a great episode. All the way through. I mean, River, and it's all brilliant.
Yeah. So probably one of the better companion departures.
Yeah.
I would say best almost, but I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. I'm running through them.
Rose.
I would say better than Rose's. Definitely better than Martha's.
Better than Donna's.
I can't talk about that one. Better than Clara's.
Right. And then you just have Bill.
I can't talk about that one.
Right. And then we're with our current companions.
Yeah.
Who will theoretically see the departure at the end of the year. I don't know if it's already been filmed. But.
The best one I can talk about.
Yeah.
So, there's that.
All right. Well, moving on, we already mentioned her, Bill Potts, with the 12th Doctor in his final season.
Yes. One of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Love Bill and 12.
Yeah.
I think they're great.
Yeah, I think, 12 is not traditionally my favorite Doctor. I mean, Peter Capaldi's obviously great, in and of himself, but just the 12th Doctor era, not necessarily my favorite. But I think Bill adds a lot, and you're like, after, and I'm not blaming it all on her, but after, the 2 or however many seasons it was with Clara, you're kind of like, we can do this? Why don't we do more of this?
Yes. Yes.
So.
Yeah, and that's, I've always said, liked Clara with 11, hated Clara with 12, hated Clara with 12, all of them. So, yeah, it's difficult to know, do we love Bill Potts in her own right, or do we love her just because she's a breath of fresh air? But,
yeah.
And I think it's both.
Yeah, because I think, not to compare contrast, but I think she's her own character, but she's like Amy, young, knows a particular set of skills, but brings fun. No, I think, for whatever reason, I think Bill brings more wonder, because I think the way she's introduced is that, she works in the cafeteria. She's not a student, but she still goes to lectures, so she shows, that's what gets the Doctor's interest in her, that she shows this thirst for knowledge or for something bigger, which wasn't necessarily Amy. And so I think that's that healthy kind of like, I want to explore, or, I just want to be open to new things. And that was sort of her sense of adventure. It may or may not be the right word. But anyway, she's the one who would love to go on an alien planet or whatever, just like, Wicked, what's this about,
Yeah. And I think she's also, like even though we've seen Clara with 12, and so we've got the younger companion, first of all, Bill seems so much younger than Clara. And also Clara was already established before 12 came in, so she's already got her own set of hardness, whereas Bill and 12 is, to me, very much, if you were going to completely reboot the whole thing, what 1 and Susan would be.
Yeah, I don't know, I haven't thought about it that much. I don't know if to call Clara cynical, but she's obviously has, this is a lazy way to say it, but I'll just say it. She has that darkness about her. Like the Doctor, who does have a darkness about her. But I think with Bill, up until her last appearance, she's pretty, like I said, open and, But I think, unfortunately she gets cured of that by getting killed, so.
Yeah. Ish. She's off to be a puddle girl.
Yeah. I feel like that's almost like it's almost like a fanfic ending. Like, in other words, like, the real ending is that she died and became a Cyberman, and that's the ending, and y'all just need to deal with it. That's the gritty world, and everyone's like, no, we'll fix this. She really, when she died, her spirit was released in Puddle Girl, and happiness.
Well, but it's not necessarily a completely uncommon idea. Because, of course, let's be honest, the exact same, not the exact same thing happens, but
Clara.
Same thing. Clara is an incredibly ambiguous ending. Yep. Rose is an incredibly ambiguous. Even River Song has come back since she died.
Right. And even not counting the 12th Doctor appearance, because that more or less tracks. But it's the 11th Doctor, Time of the Doctor, Name of the Doctor, whatever it was.
When she comes back as sort of a ghosty, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yep.
Yeah. And also, crap, where was my head going? Oh, Amy and Rory.
Right.
Is, to a certain extent, ambiguous.
That's true. They're still floating around out there.
Yeah.
In the early 20th century.
Yeah. So, yeah, her ending doesn't bother me in that sense necessarily. In fact, it's wildly similar to the way Clara exits. You know, another friend, and we go off on adventures together.
I feel like the endings, because those are all Moffat endings, tend to be like, I'll let Big Finish do something here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, a couple of years... I can't remember blanking on a real name for a second. But anyway, Bill Potts wants to come back and do Doctor Who.
Pearl Mackie.
Pearl Mackie wants to come back, do some Big Finish oddities. She's with her puddle girl, and we can do it.
Absolutely. We can do a whole new series.
Jenna Coleman wants to do it. She's in the TARDIS with... I don't know if they can get...
Yeah.
What's her face?
Arya Stark.
Yeah. So, Maisie?
Nice.
Can't believe I knew that. But anyway, there you go.
Can't remember her last name. But anyway... Maisie Williams. I'm there, man. And I also think Bill's season was good because of the other, you've got Nardole, you've got Missy, who's amazing. And so it wasn't just Bill and 12. There were other people to play off of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what did you think, I guess, talking about, I don't know, what do you think? Did Bill develop much? I don't think she did. I mean, that's nothing against her. I just think it was a short time. But, of course, I've talked about other characters, maybe who did. We got her identity, many things. Blanking on the word multi-sectional, that's not the word. Anyway, but anyway, intersectional, that's what I'm trying to think, as far as identities go. But I'm talking more about, her strong... pull with her, dead mother, who I'm trying to remember the timeline. Was she really young when her mom died or something? Because
I feel like
and then she, I guess, was adopted or something like that. I can't remember the woman she was with at the beginning of the show. And so that was sort of her defining character in as much as she had one.
Yeah, but the thing about Bill is she was relatively, even though she was very young and full of wonder and all of those things, she was also very secure in who she was.
Right, that's true.
And so it wasn't like she needed those aspects of growth in her. I feel like she learned a lot.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's a journey of its own, I suppose.
Because I think she as many companions play, she definitely turned into the helping the Doctor see things. I guess it'd be interesting to watch that series again because the Doctor's in you don't know where he is, but because from Clara's death, how he's sort of he's an analogous to the 11th Doctor when Amy died. Maybe not that bad, but that's the analogy. Now, we don't know that he secretly has Missy in a basement. We learned that, that's sort of retroactively added to that. But knowing that, watching that, where's the Doctor, and that he chooses his companion, because I'm trying to, I don't want to do every companion. They don't often choose them. And so this is a rare, I choose you, Pikachu, All right. Well, final thoughts about our 3 lady companions?
No, that was fun.
Sure. Well, with that, let's go into the TARDIS library.
When you close your eyes,
I go to the library.
Go to the library now.
All right, we're going to be talking about a TV movie from all the way back in 2001 called Hotel! !
Yeah.
Would you like to read the synopsis?
I would. When the president's plane is forced to land in a small village, he has no choice but to stay at the nearby hotel. Terrorists take over the hotel, and it's left to hotel staff and NYPD, local police, to save the day.
Yes, this stars Paul McGann, Peter Capaldi, Bradley Walsh, and Keely Hawes, as well as a host of others. Darling, what did you think of Hotel?
This was redonkulous. I assume maybe it's the exclamation mark that gives me this impression that this is related in some way to Airplane.
I didn't look up who made this. I assume it's completely different people, but obviously that's where the motivation comes from.
Yeah, it was nuts.
It was very funny. I liked it. I mean, it's 2001, but I don't know why I mentioned 2001. To me, it's not that long ago, but of course it's long ago.
19 years
ago.
Right? 19 years and a coronavirus.
And growing.
So, yeah.
It's pre-9/11,
it's been about 100.
too. So,
yeah.
But I thought it was very funny. What'd you think of seeing Paul McGann playing the lead role?
He plays a very good straight man.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me, you brought up Airplane. I'd watched a little YouTube documentary on Leslie Nielsen. I was like, anyway. In Airplane, that was his first, I believe, comedic appearance. But
one of the, he was a dramatic actor,
and that whole movie, which I haven't seen recently, though I'm familiar with it. A lot of the actors they chose is because they're such straight character actors. You have from Unsolved Mysteries, Stack. Robert Stack. You have Peter Graves from Mission Impossible. You have I can't remember the guy who's on the headphones.
O.J.
Chain
Simpson.
Smoke. Well, no, that's a different one. That's Naked Gun. One of Bridges, isn't it? Lloyd Bridges is in that.
Oh yeah.
So you have all these guys. Well, I mean, most
tough guys that play cowboys.
Yeah, straight characters, and they were hired because they just play it straight. I don't know if that's what they told them directly, but that's basically what they wanted them to do. Just because if you just play it straight and just this weird dialogue anyway. But yeah, that's Paul McGann's job.
Yes.
Now, someone who plays a little bit more loose is Peter Capaldi.
He did, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he should have played it tighter or not. But he is definitely
not the villain of the piece, but the sort of stereotypical the guy and the girl, and then like the boyfriend that she's with now, and
who's rich,
a jerk, and probably is cheating on her or something.
Yeah. This whole movie was so bizarre. I do feel like it started out completely slapstick and stayed. It got less so. I mean, it obviously doesn't turn into a telenovela or anything, or anything terribly dramatic. But Paul McGann's bit of the story does sort of stop being funny. The stuff around him is, of course, the NYPD.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was so weird.
Because it does turn into Die Hard, basically. A parody of Die Hard.
Yeah.
Because it has, it's been a while since I've seen that. I don't know if you've seen it at all.
Okay. Of course I have.
But anyway, because
I watch it every Christmas. It's a Christmas movie.
Because he's in his undershirt, very Bruce Willis-y.
Yeah.
And then he's talking with the cop on the outside, like Carl Winslow. That's not his real name.
Yeah.
The character's name in Die Hard.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's what kind of did I think they were like, on purpose, I assume. That sort of lent that. So it starts off as sort of like Airplane in a hotel, and then halfway through turns into Die Hard parody.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, Paul McGann, of course, he's just, that voice is just, I don't think you can do anything with that voice. That's why I like him on Big Finish. It's very heartful, or I don't know.
Mellifluous,
yes,
is what I'm going to say. That's our vocabulary word of the day.
There you go.
He has a beautiful mellifluous voice. Yeah,
which I think can do anything, because I think he's, with the Eighth Doctor's reappearance in the 50th anniversary, he has some very funny lines, but it's still said in the same voice. Where's he from?
Oh, I don't know.
Because all the brothers sound like that? I don't know, because I've never heard any of the other brothers. But anyway, he could say the same thing. It could be funny, it could be dramatic, it could be soulful, and he's really saying it the same way.
It's all mellifluous.
Context, yeah. But Peter gets the random musical number. Yes,
yep. And Bradley Walsh plays the village idiot.
Yes, what'd you think of Mr. Bradley Walsh?
Who keeps tipping everybody.
No, they're supposed to tip you.
So bizarre. And again, he does it with a little bit of a smirk, but it's still so straight.
Yeah, and I know, I mean, you know more about Bradley Walsh. Like, I don't know his where he comes from as far as his history, his filmography, his what. But I mean, obviously, he's of the three, he's the most slapsticky of them all. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know that he necessarily takes a prep. He does, because when he's doing the drinks, he's sort of throwing them all over the place without meaning to. And then Keely Hawes, she just is familiar. And then I looked up her filmography. I have no idea what I know her from. She just looks like a familiar actress. I'm sure she's been in a ton of stuff. But she was in Doctor Who as well. She played Mrs. Delphox or Delpho, I don't know if I pronounced that X, in Time Heist, which was actually with Peter Capaldi. So anyway, she played the bad guy there. So anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is on YouTube, and it was good.
Go check it out.
Yeah.
I think it's worth seeing. It's the most ridiculous thing.
And the President of the United States played by Lee Majors. Yes.
Bless. Who was just mad that he didn't get to be included in the airplane stuff. So.
He's like, I'm a tough guy too.
Yeah.
I'm just as good as Lloyd Bridges.
I was $5 million man.
Which they do a reference, and I like it. All right, well, until next week, enjoy the Doctor's many adventures throughout time and space.
This is BBC Television.